Okay, guys. So I'm gonna start a new project in After Effects and a new composition. And what I'm gonna do here is make you understand that you can bring multiple compositions in a project, and you could bring comps into another comp. Okay, so I know it sounds kind of abstract, but it's not really once you see it work. So I'm going to composition, new comp, and just to refresh you guys, I usually pick an HDTV 1080 29.97. If you drop down, you can see that there's other options from standard definition, widescreen, and it tells you at 720 by 480. The PAL, which is like the European version, that's at a 25 frame rate. Then you go into your high definition video formats. So you have your lower high def, 720 by 1280, television standard, and there's even the European standard frame rate, and there's also the cinematic frame rate of 24 as well. Okay, so you pick and choose. Me personally, I like just using television standard, which is the HDTV 1080 by 29.97, which is essentially 30 frames. Okay, if you wanted to, you can experiment. I don't recommend it because I don't have a 4K TV at home. We don't even have a 4K TV here at school. So unless you really want to do it for your own self, you may want to consider 4K or 2K. But for the most part, HDTV 1080. Okay. You guys remember time code? What are these two circles representing? Frames. Excellent. The next set of zeros. Seconds. And the last one? Hours. Excellent. Okay, so for this assignment, guys, I'm going to ask you guys to make it 5 seconds exactly. Okay? Now, guys, remember, the background color doesn't matter. When you export and you think your background's going to be, say, fluorescent green, technically it doesn't. This is just for you to see with the background. Okay? It's really a preference. Okay, so I'm going to make it black. Because if I click on this button right here, it's really transparent. Okay, to make it a true solid background, you would have to go to Layer, New, for example, put a solid, and pick and choose your color from there. Say I want this pink color. So, and that layer goes, and voila. Okay, now what we're going to do is a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. Very basic, and you probably have done it before, but this helps you refresh your memory. But I'm also going to introduce creating effects for each number. Okay? So, now typically people would say, oh, Mr. Mate, it's pretty simple. You just get your text tool, you click in on the screen and type in 5, and you can highlight and change the color of that number if you like. And make the font bigger if you like, or if you just grab it from the corners, hold Shift. Okay. Now, when you create typography on the screen, it automatically wants to go the whole length of the composition. But I just want this number to last 1 second. So there's a few ways to do this. You could just grab and shrink it to 1. And you guys see where it says 1 there? As I zoom in using this zoom in feature, the mountain, it reveals more information about my timeline. Okay, so I can click this onto 1 second, which is essentially your 30 frames. Okay, you can also shrink or decrease the size of the timeline with this bar right here. Now, what I've done is I told this graphic of the number 5 to last 1 second. Okay. Now, cool little trick. You can press Command C, Command V. Now, it said 6 because instinctively After Effects wants to name it 6 because it knows it's 5. But technically, I'm going backwards. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click and drag this over. Move my timeline cursor, and you'll see that this, I'm going to double click it, I'm going to call it 4. So I have the numbers 5, 4. Now, if I didn't move this over, I would actually have 2 numbers overlapping, and you don't want that. Okay. What is another way of trimming content on After Effects? Spin?
It's the same as like Premiere, but you can press C and that's like for cut, and you can really just click the action
Okay.
depending on the timeline.
Let's see if that works.
I don't know if it like works for Premiere. So I would
Okay. So let's make this longer. And I want to bring the cut right here. So you're saying press C, does nothing. Okay. Does anybody know what the shortcut is? Cam?
I think it's Shift Command D, but I'm not 100% sure.
Shift Command D. Okay, let's try that. Shift Command D. You know what you did? You cut and duplicate. I did not know that, actually. That is pretty impressive. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. I just learned something cool. I didn't know that as well. Are you Googling this as we do this? How'd you find that out? Okay. Another way of editing this. Another way, guys, is everyone's type in 3. Command C, Command V, bring it over. Now, if I accidentally did stretch it out too much, bring your timeline cursor to where you want it, select it, hold Alt and parentheses. Now, the inside parentheses does an inside cut, and if I do the outside parentheses, you guys look at your keyboard right next to the letter P? Those two brackets, okay? Press Alt, and you can trim it that way as well. So Alt and the parentheses together is another way of trimming your timeline footage. Okay? That should be the number 2. Now, this is actually not the way you're supposed to do it. Yes, this will get the job done. And this is not actually lining up to, there we go. So, that is fine. It works. It's timed perfectly to 1 second, so it's a true countdown. Okay? However, I don't want you doing it this way. What I'd like you guys to do is to make a new comp for each number. Okay, so I'm going to call this one 1. It's going to last 1 second. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is the same thing I just did. Type in 1. And you can pick whatever font you like, guys. It's up to you. And I'm going to save it. Because technically, I don't even have to edit this. Now check this out. I'm going to make another comp. I'm going to call this main. I'm going to make this one last 5 seconds. That was me just showing you how to do it in one timeline. Right? The trick here, guys, you can do multiple comps. Now check this out. I'm just going to Command C and Command V that comp. So comp 2, I'm going to type in 2. I don't have to worry about cutting it because it's only 1 second long, right? I'm going to grab 2, Command C, Command V, double click, and guys, make sure it says comp 3, okay? Command V again, 4, double click 4, make sure it says 4 on the top. Oops, cancel. And you're thinking, okay, so that I kind of get what you're doing, right? You guys kind of see what I'm getting at, or no? Now, I want you to get in this habit of making comps within comps. So what's going to happen here is I have my main. It's 5 seconds. I'm going to literally hold Shift, grab all these, and slap them into this main comp. Now, they're all overlapping each other, so that's fine. But all I'll do is I'll grab... kind of snap them into place. And you kind of have this pyramid style animation. Okay. So it works the same way. And you're thinking, okay, Mr. Almeida, you did it this way it's the same kind of idea. What are we bothering for? Now, in this exercise, it's only a countdown. It's simple. But the benefit of doing this is if you ever get projects where there's multiple lines of text, this is the way you want to work on it. If you have tons of graphics, it's better to have all those graphics contained in one container as opposed to having hundreds of lines of graphics, music, text, Photoshop files, Illustrator files in one comp than as opposed to one comp with all those things in one. Okay?
Almost like saves time.
It kind of does. And also, if I double click, I go into that comp. What I want you guys to play with is I want you to explore After Effects effects bin, and I want you to apply one different effect for every number. Okay? So, very quickly, if you go to your effects presets, there are tons of effects. And you can go Google search and look for some cool ones and see what they do and find the tutorials. So I'm going to let you guys explore this on your own. I'll show you quickly one. So I'm going to type in the word wiggle. Wiggle's a nice one. Gelatin. Click on it. Drag it in there. Now, by default, it does the wiggle for you. But if you wanted to, you can go into the effects and play with the transformation and even animate it more. But by default, it has that animation. Now, notice, if I go back to my main, that wiggle effect, hello,
Mr. Almeida, your attendance.
thank you. It automatically updates it because it's already been applied to that door. Okay, so if I want to do number 2,
Because you edited on that.
if I double clicked on it, I worked on it on that comp in particular, and it's been saved. And comp, these are all comps, and they're all saved on its own little, all the parameters are saved within its own container. Okay, wiggle's a good one. Let's do on number 2 something else. So I'll bring my timeline cursor here. Here's a cool one. If you go to stylize, let's do a burn. And here, I'll show you this one. This is kind of slick. You kind of have to activate it. So depending on where you want to start the animation, maybe I have 2, but maybe the last few frames, it starts burning and disintegrates. So move my timeline cursor to where I want it. So say halfway, like around 15. I'm going to activate the stopwatch. So you guys remember the stopwatch is critical. That activates a keyframe. And I'm going to tell the computer, yeah, I want you to be 0 there, but maybe at the end of this, let's add another keyframe and make this 100% burn. Kind of dissolves. So let's see what that looks like. Okay. So when I go back to my project and I go to my main, it should automatically have that burn effect. Okay. So I'm going to stop right there, guys. I want you to explore. You can also go into Google and just do a keyword, applying effects. Cool After Effects. Okay. Spell it right. And there's some cool videos out there. Explore. Show me your ability to apply different effects to every number. And I want you to show me afterwards when I mark you. I don't actually want to see the end result. I want to see your After Effects file. And I want to see that you did multiple comps within one comp. All right? I'll stop that video and good luck.